एक बंदा जो लिपस्टिक बनाता है ज़रूरी नहीं वो लिपस्टिक लगाता हो. So first of all you have to understand that film is a business also. And so it's not necessary that if you are doing the business of films, you essentially know everything about it. The question is not whether people who are making these products, these films, have changed, or the consumer has changed. Is there a taste and the language? Is there the language of people which has changed?
Okay.
And when it comes to language of people, I think it always changes.
When you say that people who are writing movies these days are English speaking and hence they don't know Hindi, I just have a question. When do you say somebody knows a language really? How much of knowing a language is really knowing a language? My love for words is what makes me a writer, not my knowledge of any one language. So I think that is far more important for a writer to have, which is to be able to put across a thought in the most clear manner. The idea eventually that connects with the audiences and not the words.
जो लैंग्वेज की बात हो रही है जहाँ तक एक लैंग्वेज होती है जो कि साहित्य की लैंग्वेज होती है, जो लिटरेचर की लैंग्वेज होती है, जो जिसको प्रिजर्व किया जाता है, which is language as an art form. एक होता है फंक्शनल लैंग्वेज और ये हर काल में रहा है. कालिदास संस्कृत में लिखा करते थे लेकिन हर आदमी संस्कृत में बात नहीं करता था. When you write, especially in films, when you are recording the realism, or you are trying to catch the realism of the situation and of the content, then you try and transport yourself into that area and that milieu. You can't be a wordsmith if you are demeaning the language. नया वर्ड इन्वेंट करने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन उसके पीछे आपका क्या मकसद क्या है?
There is an entire generation that is learning language through these art forms, whether it is theatre, whether it is cinema, whether it's music. And if we don't protect our language from being bastardized in these art forms, then I think we are in for trouble as far as language is concerned.
Would you say that dialogue in the last 10 years has become more realistic? It's closer to how people speak?
Largely, dialogue is defined by the characters. Like urban, like you said, there's a lot of English-speaking people who are writing Hindi dialogue, and hence there is a sense of it being translated and not transliterated. But in the recent time, that's not true.
We are only saying, are we depicting the culture correctly? Are we saying what exactly the society is doing? I am also an artist who needs self-expression. When I was writing song Masakali for him, Masakali didn't exist as a word.
Why do we want to be real? None of us in a living life and in our imagination are real people. You know, we behave differently and we think differently, we wish differently, and we conceive differently altogether. When everything becomes a formulae and everything becomes a statistics, and you start talking about my film will go to multiplex and overseas and so, that's where you'll see a shift of more and more calculated visions rather than original visions.
More than authenticity, I think what one really aims is that believability, believability within the context of that story, within the context of that film, within the context of your intentions, the artistic intentions of that film. I do agree there are commercial considerations to that in the sense of that you are trying to, at any given time, at the end of the day you're making Hindi cinema and you're trying to address a largely Hindi speaking audience. So if your film is 90% English or 90% Bengali for that matter, it doesn't really, does it still qualify as Hindi cinema?
When you talk about Masakali, you talk about a word coming into language and it is becoming a word. Masakali is a dead word. Yeah. I don't ever use that word. So as far as that coinage is concerned, as a symbol, it is dead.
आप ऐसा मत कहिए कि मसक्कली is a dead word.
आप उसको एक सेंटेंस में प्रयोग करके
मैं बताता हूँ. और भाई मसक्कली क्या हाल चाल है?
I wouldn't feel confident in entering the universe of a Hindi-speaking character and making him a real person. Real people don't just use Topori language and street language. They also have important emotional conversations, right? They really express themselves. So if you have people who are English-speaking primarily, they are not going to be able to move too far away from their limitations, and that will show.
That's not a compulsion that you are from South Bombay and you cannot make a film about Bihar, this thing. You can, if you understand the sensibility of that subject. if you understand the sensibility of that milieu, I think you can cross boundaries.
Filmmakers make such films, you know, certain times ऐसा लगता है that they are putting things, they are throwing things on, you know, the audience.
Today's audience actually is quite satiated. When you shell out money, your expectations are कि कुछ कर यार, हिला मुझे. So now there is a huge expectation from a filmmaker कि कुछ नया किया नहीं, इसलिए marketing बहुत ज़रूरी हो गई.
And do you really need realism? I mean, at that much that's the question I'm asking the panel.
एक मंत्र होता है, it should be holding, boss. I mean, do whatever. You know, I don't care whether you are giving me a gyan or you are just taking me for a flight of fantasy. Do it right so that I enjoy the film.
Thank you.